it's really a good opportunity to take a moment and speak about Nathan, and I'm really happy that I was asked to do that. As the principal of the high school here, my goal is to really make sure that I get to know every student in the school, and I've had the opportunity to get to know Nathan, especially this year, and I have to tell you that it was so cool to watch him slowly transforming himself into the person that he really wanted to be.
I just want to take a few minutes as the department head of the Fine Arts to remember a wonderful, creative, quirky, special, unique young man who brought an enormous amount of joy and enthusiasm, whether it was in the music suite, the art rooms, or the black box.
I didn't know Nathan for that long, but he was just such a character with so much charisma that was infectious. I think every time I was around him, I had a smile on my face. There wasn't a time where I was unhappy or upset if I was around him.
I'm so lucky that I got to know him.
I was in that weird in between of like being more than an acquaintance but less than like a best friend with Nathan. And like I met him last year, and I only met him once, and then every time after that he would like say hello to me in the halls, like always. And like even when I wouldn't see him, I remember once he like chased me down just to say hi. Like he was always like that kid who was doing things for other people. Like he would go out of his way for anyone, even if he didn't know them well, just because they needed it.
Nathan was just like, he was one of my first friends when I moved here. Like I didn't know anyone, and of course I was sat next to Nathan Childs, who I guess that was kind of overwhelming because he had such a big personality and he was always like muttering really strange things, but he always made me laugh. That's one thing that I want to try to take from him is like his ability to make everyone laugh no matter what the situation was. Even though sometimes it was inappropriate, but like he didn't care. He was just always being himself, and I really appreciate that. It's amazing.
Nate was an extremely funny guy. He was always trying to make everybody laugh, and he was always caring for everybody else. There wasn't any moment when we were together that I didn't feel like he was anything but a friend, and that's really what he was to everybody.
So I met Nathan this year, beginning of concert choir, and first 3 days I didn't really talk to him. Like we just share comments here and there, and then I'd say probably a weekend it felt like we were friends for a long time, and it felt like we just bonded together, and he just really grew on me as a close friend.
Well, I knew Nathan this year probably more than anything. I honestly really didn't become close with him till the play started because, we'd always been friends, but we never really were close. And the first day of rehearsal, he said to me, hey, if you ever need a ride home, even if it's not from rehearsal, like, just feel free to ask.
I was friends with him since 4th grade, on and off, though, as with most friends. But I really got to know him when I worked with him. I trained him for produce, and I'll probably remember all the good times we had back there. Complaining about our boss, joking around, sneaking an apple or two, throwing knives with the knives we had back there. And I remember the first night I trained him that I got pissed at him for it. I sent him out back to do some of the cleaning because I showed him how to do it. When I got back, none of the cleaning was done, but there was a fully drawn transformer on a piece of paper back there. And I wish I saved that piece of paper right now.
Nathan Childs was such a good kid. He was so innocent. He never really wanted, bad for anybody. He always wanted the best out of people, and his family and friends are so proud of him. He was at the best time of his life, truly.
He was a great guy. He was a great friend. It's surreal, it really is. But he's dancing up there and he's singing songs and confident. But yeah, Nathan Childs, he's gonna be missed. And I didn't know him for long, but I knew him for enough time to know that he was something special. So
there's just so much to be said about him that I'd be talking all day, but he was really one of my best friends, and I'm just happy that me and Ben got to spend the last few hours and days of his life with him and spent a lot of time with him. I know I meant a lot to him and us too, but he really had an impact on everyone, and once he broke out of his shell, everybody realized how good of a person he was, and how everybody loved him as soon as they saw him up on that stage, and that's how he was all the time. If anybody's seen the show, that's how Nathan acted all the time. So
I don't know, it seems really weird to think about the fact that like just Saturday night, even like after the show, I was talking to him just like a couple hours before. I like that people are talking a lot about the show because I feel like it was such a positive thing for everyone. I feel like no matter, like, I know we didn't really know Nathan for very long, and like even in choir, I feel like he was there, but I wasn't really friends with him. I didn't really know him that well, but like once the show started and we got really into it, it was just like I feel like everyone just clicked so well, and just to see somebody open up like that is really amazing.
I could see it was his biggest accomplishment was to be in Grease, and I'm so happy to have met him from that. And he was just really one of those people that you don't come across often.
To me, it was just another show I'm doing. I mean, obviously it was special. It's my senior year, but just he loved every second of it. He became so invested in the show and his part. Like, he is always so hardworking at everything.
Even sitting in the dressing room, just talking to people, like those little things really mean a lot. And the love that he had for the family and the appreciation that he had for it, I think is unique, because I don't think any of us before really noticed how amazing that was, that we had that opportunity and that we had that group.
He always had stuff to do, but right now in this time of his life, he was in Grease. He loved everyone in Grease. Truly, Grease was so important to him. Every bit of hard work he put into, he wouldn't trade it for anything. It was what he lived for. This Grease meant so much to him. I know I keep repeating myself, but it can't be understated.
He put his whole heart into everything that he did at MHS. His art was amazing, and it took everyone's breath away. And when he was on stage in Grease, you could tell that he finally found like the place where he really belonged. And I'm so glad that he found that place before he had to go.
It's going to be really hard, I think, to go into other shows and stuff and to do future events with choir and to even just to do that, because like it's going to be so hard not to do it without him. But at the same time, like, I think we're all going to appreciate it so much more because we have these experiences and we're not going to take them for granted.
So basically, I just want everybody to know that Nathan's life was short, but it was full. He taught me a lot about life, and I didn't realize it until he was gone. And, you know, everybody deserves to know, like, how much he really helped everybody and taught me how to march to the beat of my own drum, and I'll never forget the things that Nathan told me.
And he was always such a happy person, and it just, like, I'm kind of just like blessed to be a part of his life at all, if that makes sense. So I just want everybody to know that Nathan was like probably one of the greatest people I've ever known in my whole life, and his art was beautiful, and I wish that he got the chance to share it.
We're just one whole group, and having him gone just doesn't feel the same, and stuff like that. But one memory I have with Nathan was before he left was on Friday I was typing an essay in the library, and he came in, he pulled up a chair next to me, and I was like, oh look, Nathan Childs, and we just laughed and we joked the whole class, and it's tough knowing that was probably the last time I really spoke to him, and then I saw him a little bit on Friday, but not as much as I wanted to.
It was just awesome to have a person in my life that was so like-minded, and friends like that are very hard to find in life, and they do not come easy.
Nathan never did anything to anybody but make them laugh, and I feel like in a lot of ways that's what he'll be remembered for. That was our connection to him. I know it doesn't matter how close we were to him. He had original ideas that nobody else had. That's how he's going to be always remembered.
Because I would not be the person I am today if it wasn't for Nathan Childs. Because Nathan Childs didn't care what people thought of him. He said, you know what? Don't let other people get to you. Don't let other people's opinions sway you from liking the things that you do. And he was a person who made me come out of my shell. And that is the most important thing that he ever really just drove home with me. You know, never be ashamed of who you are.
He texted me and was like, becoming friends with you has meant so much to me. I feel like people take it for granted. I take it for granted, some people I'm friends with. And I usually go out of my way to text people and say, hey, thanks for being a good friend today. Like, just the fact that, like, how much life meant to him was just, like, a part of him. And I remember asked him on his birthday, I said, hey, was today a good birthday? And he said, yeah, it was the best I've ever had. And he's like, usually I just sit at home in my room and eat a piece of cake, but not this year, not with you guys. If you'd asked me, like, a year ago, like, how close would you be with Nathan, I wouldn't have said, like, he's one of my closest friends, but he is now. And I just feel like you don't really know what you have till it's gone. It's just, like, crazy how much this has affected everybody, like, even people that weren't close to him.
Senior year was where he really found his own, and he really stopped caring what people thought, and he really just did what he wanted to do. He joined the concert choir. I knew he'd honestly do whatever he'd want to do, and I supported that, and it's just a tragic loss for everybody at MHS. Whether you're your best friend, your recent friend, or you just knew him by his name, and that's it. It doesn't matter, like, how long you knew him. That's just a measurement. It doesn't mean that much. Some of his best friends were kids he just met from Greece recently in the past few weeks.
And he just had a way to lighten up everybody's day, even when things were dark, and I just gonna miss him.
I guess if I could say anything to him, it was that it was a pleasure to become close with him and to, you know, share a couple burgers at Five Guys with him on his birthday, and to be able to become close with him, you know, through the arts and through the musical and through concert choir. And I'm lucky to have spent the last couple of days with him and perform with him on the stage and share the stage with him. And he's just an amazing guy, and we all love him, and we're all so sad to see him go.
Nathan, he just grew on me as a great friend. And I just hope that we can carry on his spirit, his humor, and everything that he brought, you know, his style, his sense of style, his unique sense of, you know, humor and stuff like that. And I'm going to miss him a lot.
I said to him once, now I know who to call at 11:30 at night if I ever need anything, because I've seen him do that for other people. I just wish I had a chance to tell him how much I loved him one more time, how much he meant to me. I just wish it wasn't real.
I don't know, I think the only thing I can say is that every time, like, I think about him, I just keep kind of, no matter what I'm doing, I stop what I'm doing, and I just, like, let him know that I really cared about him and that I loved him and that I hope that he's looking down on us, that he appreciate, like, you know, he knows how much we appreciate him, and he's happy with, you know, everything that's going on because we really cared about him, and I hope that he knows that.
I think the amount of emotion that you've seen coming out of the students shows you, and teachers, shows you the kind of human being that Nathan was, and how much we'll always cherish him, and he'll always live on in our hearts. And our sympathies, our love, and our condolences go out to his family and friends. Thank you.
And from his work in concert choir to his complete love of this musical, and watching him prepare, and I was so jealous of his hair, and I really would like some of that myself, and I just remember saying to him, I said, I really just wish I had your hair. And I can't really, words really just don't express how anyone's feeling or how I'm feeling, but to know the fact that you know, the last time he was in this building, that he was in a completely happy place, that he loved to be on that stage, and that it was really I think a good way for everyone to remember him, and also to just recognize for all of us, I think our charge now as students and as a school to, what legacy do we want to leave and what memories do we want to leave behind when it's time for us to graduate and move on in life. And I just think that is really I think it's a really great way to think about how we give back. So to Nathan, thank you for the impact you've made in the school, and thank you for lighting up our stage. Listening to your voice in concert choir, to looking at the artwork that you were creating in those art rooms was truly nothing short of amazing. And I just hope that you're looking down on us, watching just our school community really celebrating you and celebrating what you've done for every single person in the building. So thanks.
And, he was just an amazing person. He was an amazing guy. He, like I said, was always there. And even now that he's not, all of his friends, all the people that cared about him the most, will still be there for him. I love you, Nathan. We all do. We miss you, buddy. But we're still here for you. We always will be.
I'm really gonna miss him. I guess I loved him. Like he was the closest thing I really ever had to a brother. I just know that he'll be very missed by everybody who knew him. Even just people he said hi to. If they knew him, he had a great impact on everyone. So
he was really excited to be branching out of his shell and becoming friends with all of us. He was just really important to me, and I know it was really important to him. He's my best friend. Just miss him.
Yeah, he's the greatest friend I could ever ask for. He was always there for me whenever I needed him. It kills me inside to know that I couldn't have been there for him. We have our good times, we have our bad times, but through it all, Nathan would never look at that. He'd always look at the big picture of the thing and be like, it's all about the experience. And I looked up to him for that alone. Me and him would go on for hours quoting movies. Me and him could do the whole Star Wars script if we wanted to off the top of our heads. And I know that I can't share that with another friend. And, it's just what kills me the most. So, Nathan, I miss you, and may the force be with you wherever you are.